What is going on, Geeks and Gamers? We're here. We're live for Geeks and Gamers Daily. Happy Memorial Day. I hope everyone's got a day off and you're pouring one out to remember those who sacrificed all for this great country. And I'm joined once again by Jay. Jay's back. What's up, Jay?
I'm back. Spent a couple days over at Epic Universe. I saw many of you guys over on the Park Hoppin' live stream, set a bunch of records over there. So thank you guys for showing up and checking it all out while we were there. It's been theme parked out a little bit, but it's been hot. But Epic Universe is such an amazing park. I was telling Ryan before the show, they limited the capacity there to make sure whoever was there has a great time. I mean, every single ride except for one was literally a walk-on the entire day. And sometimes we rode the rides just twice, like the wing gliders and everything. Just said, can we just ride it again? Because there's no one in line. So it was an amazing day. I did get to do Ministry of Magic. I know you didn't get a chance to do that. And when you were there, Ryan. But that could be hands down the greatest theme park attraction I've ever been on. So now roller coaster people will be like, well, I like the roller coasters, but it's just like from the start you walk into that queue line till you get into the ride. It is, I can't believe that they were able to pull something like this off. It is unbelievable.
I've been through the queue and obviously that was phenomenal.
Yeah.
But yeah, eventually I'll get there. I don't know, months down the road, probably. We'll see.
Yeah.
When I'll have to wait 3 hours in line, but that's okay. It does sound like everybody had a pretty good experience for the most part. Little rain came in over the weekend too for some people out there.
Yes. Yeah. We missed the rain when we were there yesterday or the day before on Saturday, missed the rain. It did sprinkle a little bit when we started the live stream, but then it eased up. So we were fine. And then that just made things even better. It was just like, we just walked. I did like Monsters Unchained several times and everything was running great. We tried the brand new restaurant. There should be a video on that very soon. And I don't know, had a great time. But day after day after day, pounding them theme park streets, man, in that heat.
It's a rough life. You know, all the people that sacrificed their lives for our freedoms, they did it so Jay could walk around Epic Universe opening weekend and get on rides with no wait time. That's really the American dream.
That is it, man. That is it. And have some good food. So, had some good food. Went to that new Asian restaurant that opened up. Man, it was phenomenal.
The dragon thing?
Yeah. I could only eat the beef and broccoli and no dessert. So, because I still can't really eat that much sugar. It kind of freaks me out a little bit. But anyway, it was great. I had beef and broccoli.
Sounds fantastic. It's absolutely incredible.
Man, you gotta go. I gotta take you. We gotta get pizza, man. I gotta take you to Pizza Moon and beer. Get a pizza and a beer. Ryan will be happy. You know,
I would be happy with that.
Yeah, I think it'd be great. I think you'd have a great time.
Are those different glasses?
No, the same ones.
They look like more arched.
I
Instead of
sat on
flat.
them by accident, so they're a little bent.
Yeah,
in
they.
the
I
front.
was just gonna say they look bent. So there
Yeah.
you go.
I'm not buying new ones as long as I can still fit on my face. I'll be all right. But yeah,
Do you get to watch Mission Impossible this weekend?
did not. I didn't watch any movies. I
What?
do plan on watching Mission Impossible tomorrow, though. So,
God. All right.
did you like it?
I think I liked it more than some other people in our corner of the internet.
Mm,
I don't think it's as good as 4, 5, or 6.
sure.
But and the first hour is rough. I will say that right up. First hour is rough for Mission Impossible. It a lot of exposition dumps, a lot of chaotic type of storytelling in terms of hey, I'm in a conversation here with this person, and we're gonna go back in time like 18 hours so we can sit down and do an exposition dump explaining the plan that we're about to do.
Oh,
Like things like that. The first hour was rough. I was like, oh man, I hope the entire thing's not like this. I feel like second half, well, second, third, and the finale really pick it up, and some crazy stuff by Tom Cruise. The submarine sequence is super tense and fantastic. And obviously the biplane stunts at the end are wild. But
yes.
overall,
People went to the
wish
theater to watch.
better, but goodbye, Ethan Hunt,
Yeah, it's been that character for a long time.
1994, 96, whenever the first Mission Impossible came out. Something like that. But it's going to be impossible for it to make money, which we'll talk about in a little bit when we talk about the box office. Bo Briscoe for 10. Happy Memorial Day. It's about to rain like hell here in coastal North Carolina, so indoor cookout it is. Got to do what you got to do. Or just open up the garage, Done that before. Dean Nelson becomes a channel member. Thanks, Dean. Godzilla's Greaser. I had a great time at Texas Frightmare, though Bruce Campbell was capped out. We never got to talk about this, but I thank Damien Leone, the creator of Terrifier franchise, for not getting political. Very cool, Godzilla's Greaser. Sorry I didn't get to meet Bruce Campbell. Bruce Campbell's a fucking G, man.
He's hilarious at the cons too, man. Even in backstage, he's like, it's like he's in character, maybe. I don't know. But he's freaking awesome at the cons. He's awesome.
Sir Hat for 2. Jay looking slim.
Really? Thank you.
Alex McCarthy, it's Memorial Day. Get you and whoever else a Meta PC by entering code RK Outpost or Drunk3PO or code 199. Thank you, Alex, for the reminder. Alex put out a really cool post. Obviously, Alex has been going through some medical stuff for the past couple years now, but he put a really cool post over there on Twitter. You guys should check it out. So shout out to Alex.
Yeah, shout out.
This is from Keenan. Which Jim Carrey character do you like more? Stanley Ipkiss, The Mask, or Ace Ventura?
I'm going to go with Ace.
I had more time with Ace Ventura.
I like Ace Ventura.
Doc Hollywood. Happy Memorial Day, geeks and gamers. Thank you for your service, Ryan, and all current and former military members out there. Yes. Thank you, Doc Hollywood. Appreciate it. Keenan. The Punisher versus Bullseye. Who wins?
Man, that's a Punisher always finds a way. Old Punisher, 80s Punisher, he'll win. Today's Punisher, probably not so much.
We'll talk to him about his feelings, maybe.
Yeah.
Andre CR. The best part of Mission Impossible is Haley Atwell giving Ethan CPR and her titties jiggling. Good times. That is a scene.
Really? You've got my attention now.
Logan Johnson for 5. Happy Memorial Day, all veterans, past and present. Hope you have a good day and hail to 199. Thank you, Logan. And yes, as a reminder, Veterans Day is coming up in November. But, Memorial Day, it's never a bad time to thank people for their service, certainly. Memorial Day is really the day that we honored, the veterans who didn't come back, the people who left it all and who sacrificed everything for the country. So definitely keep them in your thoughts. If you have a drink today, pour one out for somebody. I had a super chat on my stream yesterday from somebody who had unfortunately lost somebody that they'd served with. So So today's a good day to remember that while you're doing your cookouts, while you're doing all that other stuff.
Have you ever been to? Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was like, you've been to Arlington, right?
I've never been to Arlington other
Really?
than just like passing by and like seeing it, but I've never visited.
I went there one time. It's quite. Everyone should visit it once.
Ghost Army for 5. Is Disney still part of the social engineering program to demasculate the male population, or are they just out of touch, lame, shitty movie makers? I think like both, right?
Yeah, both.
Both of these things can make bad movies.
Same
bad
people
TV
still
shows.
in charge over there.
Cole Hauser, Ryan is my Rigga, and Jay is the G. Praise Allah. Thank you. Let's see. Thomas Whitted for 199. Jay, you going to make Fanboy in Knoxville in July?
I don't think so. But I will be in Dallas this weekend. I'll be in Dallas Fan Expo. I don't think we're going to make Knoxville. Sorry about that.
What's Fanboy?
Fanboy Expo, Comic-Con. So that's the name of the company. So, nice. But I'll be in Dallas with James Arnold Taylor and the crew over there this coming weekend.
There you go. True Mr. Gentleman for $1. Hey, it's the S+ rank team. And by that I mean Ryan's the S+ host and Jay's there.
Pretty much. That's how it goes.
Snacks for $1. Happy Memorial Day. Also RIP Phil Robertson. Yeah, I did see Phil Robertson passed away. I did see that. Greedy Graffiti for $5. Yes, I'm over here on the Rumble side. Happy Memorial Day. By the way, new Mobland was awesome. That finale is going to be epic. I cannot wait 6 days until the series or season finale of Mobland. And holy fuck, I have no idea what's going to happen. I have zero idea what's going to happen. There's so many people that I want to get their comeuppance, and I don't think it's going to be possible. But I have no fucking idea how it's all going to shake out in one episode. I really don't. Everybody should watch it though.
Haven't seen a single episode.
Missing out.
I hear. I don't have Paramount Plus.
Eric John. A lot of talk about adults at theme parks. Only thing that ever annoyed me was able-bodied adults with no kids waiting in line to meet Sleeping Beauty and Tigger. Thoughts?
I mean, that's what theme parks have become now. So it doesn't happen as I guess waiting in line to meet a character. I'm trying to think, like the last time I saw a line for a character was Winnie the Pooh. Before I tripped him. I didn't really trip him, but before that happened, I saw a lot of kids there. I don't really.
Yeah, I was gonna say I saw a lot of fucking posts out there over the past couple days, like about that. And one, the opening day was on a Thursday, and everyone's still in school and all of that shit. So obviously there's going to be more adults there. I did see a lot of kids and families and stuff on the Saturday and Sunday, just pretty normal. But I don't really fucking care.
Some adults like to go.
Ryan Shatner's The Classics for 10. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'll gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. Because there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Thank you, Ryan Shatner's The Classics. Well, for Memorial Day weekend, we did have a big boom at the box office, and not just booms because of Mission Impossible explosions and things like that, but we had a tag team effort with two movies made for a little bit different audiences, and they both did very, very well. Lilo and Stitch blows up Memorial Day box office with $183 million. Mission Impossible nabbed series best, $77 million. Now, obviously, those numbers, we still officially have to wait to see what today does, because those numbers would include the Memorial Day long holiday. So that's what the estimates are for Monday so far. We
Wow.
won't know for sure what exactly they will be, but it's pretty close. And certainly Lilo and Stitch is breaking the Memorial Day opening record, at least when you don't account for inflation. But two massive debuts, the biggest of the Mission Impossible series. Now, the Mission Impossible series is kind of tough to judge just one each and of itself because Dead Reckoning had a big opening, but it also opened on a Tuesday. Well, previews were on Tuesday instead of on Thursday because they wanted to take advantage of a couple days before Barbie and Oppenheimer. A long, complicated reason why they opened it that way. So they had a couple more days. But in terms of these raw numbers, it is the biggest we've seen for a Mission Impossible. And Lilo and Stitch, after one weekend, Lilo and Stitch domestically made almost as much as Little Mermaid did its entire run.
Wow.
And globally, it looks like we're sitting there with a $340 million global opening, which is pretty fucking big. Basically as much as Thunderbolts has made in its entire run in its opening weekend.
I mean, I guess no spoilers, but all I've been hearing on social media is people are very unhappy with the ending of Lilo and Stitch, but that didn't seem to stop it or taking people to go see that movie. Yeah, that's $1 billion incoming. It's good to see the Mission Impossible doing well. It's good news for the movie theaters, that people are back in it.
It's huge news for theaters, right? Theaters
Yeah.
needed this type of a boom. They needed this type of a massive weekend from a couple of movies that appeal to different people, right? Lilo and Stitch, family movie, Mission Impossible, a little bit older audience that's going to go watch that. The unfortunate news for Mission Impossible, despite the biggest opening that they've ever seen, franchise best opening for Mission Impossible, it unfortunately isn't really going to matter because it's essentially going to be impossible for them to break even with the $400 million production budget. Now, that is not including the Monday numbers. That's just what it would receive through the normal 3-day weekend. So that's why that number is at 190 instead of the over 200 like it's shown. But yeah, it is the best opening we've seen so far, not adjusted for inflation. Always have to throw that in there. But when you need to make well over $1 billion just to break even for a franchise like this, it is Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible to break even.
Yeah. And there's nothing else to kind of go ahead, Ryan. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, look, I watched it. I don't think it's the best Mission Impossible movie. I certainly don't think it's the worst. Little disappointed that it couldn't have been the best we've ever seen to, get this thing to the end for the finale. But first hour is a little rough. I think it brings it home in the end. I had a good time with it. I'm going to watch it again within the next week or something after I rewatch all the Mission Impossible movies again. I don't care about Lilo and Stitch. I've never watched the original. I have heard some people complaining about the ending. I've also heard some people saying that people are completely misinterpreting, misrepresenting the ending. I don't know because I never watched the fucking original. I have no intention of watching this one, but this movie will make $1 billion.
The other thing too is, franchises such as the Disney ones, they also make a lot of money. Well, when the movie does well, they'll sell a lot of like product too that will probably also help bring money in. Mission Impossible doesn't really have like action figure sales or t-shirt brands or cuddly Tom Cruise dolls, that we saw with like the Minecraft movie where you can get the Steve doll. So it's gonna be a tough number to hit. At least they were, I guess, open with their budget, saying, "Yeah, we spent this much. Here it is. Enjoy the film. We did the best we can, and maybe we'll make it up on streaming sales or purchases or something. Who knows? I don't know. Would you buy a Tom Cruise doll? Probably not. Ryan probably wouldn't want that. But
I feel like this is one of those situations where it's like, all right, this guy has made us so much fucking money.
Yeah.
We're going to let him do whatever he wants with this one to say goodbye to the franchise. I don't know, man. I don't think the movie's good enough to have a hold that will get it to $1 billion. Like I said, the highest number we've seen in franchise history for this series was not even $800 million. Mission Impossible Fallout got to 786. And I think Fallout was really good.
Yeah, that was
I
a great
still
one.
prefer Ghost Protocol and Rogue Nation over Mission Impossible Fallout, but obviously a big number. A big number at the box office. Dead Reckoning, I don't think it was as good. I still liked the movie, even though it did have some problems. But it also released at a kind of a rough time. Sound of Freedom also blew up during that time when that main demographic that goes to see Tom Cruise movies was going to see Sound of Freedom. So I don't know.
I don't know what but they really don't have much competition in the month of June for these two. It's July is when like the big guns, I guess,
we got a couple
come out.
weeks here that they can leg out.
So if they can get more people to the theater, maybe they could put a dent in it. But yeah, I agree with you. I don't think this will. It's not $1 billion film. So I saw more ads for Lilo and Stitch during the NBA playoffs than I did Mission Impossible. So.
Well, it's also if it's on ESPN or
ESPN, that's
ABC,
true.
it's
That's
Disney
true.
owned, so they kind of I think they work themselves
That's
in
true.
breaks for those. It's like free promotion. But yeah, and look, Lilo and Stitch, the craziest thing about that movie, it was $100 million budget,
Yeah.
right? Which has been one of the problems with these live actions. They're like exorbitantly expensive, blah, blah, blah. This one, $100 million, and the marketing budget reporting was also $100 million. So you're talking $200 million invested total. You need $400 million at the box office to break even. It's going to have that probably before the end of the week, and then it's just going to be money. And I don't care about the movie. I didn't watch the original one, and I have no intention of watching this one. All we can talk about is what it's doing right now at the box office, and it's blowing up.
It'll make up for Snow White, maybe, and Captain America combined.
Well, I don't know. Not so. Think about this: between Snow White and Captain America, that's what $500 or $600 million in losses. Thunderbolts is another 100 million, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
Yeah, they ended their run, huh?
Well, they haven't ended their run, but the numbers we're seeing now. I won't be able to do it today, but I put out a video yesterday where I like did a 3 weeks earlier or whatever, 3 weeks ago. And I put a clip of me saying, look, this is the same thing we see for every fucking Marvel movie. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Look at this impressive box office opening, even though it's not. And then 3 weeks later, we get articles that say, what happened to this movie at the box office? And now we're finally getting those articles for Thunderbolts because it might not even reach $400 million.
And then they ended up pushing back, the other films that are coming out. So after Fantastic Four, it's like a whole another year before another Marvel film hits. Not till the end of next year. For
year and a half
So,
between Fantastic Four and Doomsday now.
Yeah, well, maybe that's a good thing. They're taking a pause from just pumping out content over and over, so they can actually spend time working on the film to make it good that people might want to come and enjoy.
I think it's the right move, like, because they would have been so fucking crunched with all the different characters, with the 50 different cast members they have. They would have been so fucking crunched to get this thing filmed, edited, VFX, reshoots, like all that shit. It would have been a monumental task. So it probably is the right thing for that.
What do you think Mission Impossible will end up? You think it'll even come close to that 700 mark? Or it's like once like word of mouth again, like no competition, not like last time.
I think 700 million, 750
probably
million.
Be like
maybe top out at 8. We'll have to see what the hold looks like after this weekend, though. But I do think that that's realistic. That it could challenge, Fallout, something like that. But
I think a lot of people probably will go just because it's the last one. That kind of gives it a little hype as well.
It's also a 3-hour fucking movie.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Right? So it's extremely long, which that doesn't deter me or too many other people from really going to watch it. But what it does do is it limits the amount of screenings you can have per day. When you're going and looking, I'm sitting there looking at Lilo and Stitch screenings and Mission Impossible screenings, and Lilo and Stitch is playing it fuck more times.
Yes.
Even if they have similar number of screens in the theater, because they can pump out more per day than they can Mission Impossible per day.
Yes.
Lilo and Stitch is like, I think, an under 2 hour movie, maybe. So that's how it goes.
Did you see about the woman that was like watching Final? I sent that to you, Final Destination, and then the freaking movie theater fell on top of her while she was watching the film. Bro, talk about like getting creeped out, or maybe it's just your time to go. I couldn't imagine like being in the theater for that, and then all of a sudden, like you're watching the movie and like, holy crap, the freaking movie theater falls down. Yeah,
I
there
have
it is.
no idea what you're talking about, Jay, but I did see this tweet. A woman in Argentina was injured after a piece of the movie theater roof fell on her during a screening of Final Destination Bloodlines, a movie series about people escaping death, right? But death continuing to come after them. So I want to know, was this woman almost involved in a catastrophic plane crash or
I
bus
know.
accident or something? Or was this the moment? Is this the thing that she escaped that has now started death's countdown to come for her again? That's the real question.
Exactly. We need to know. The piece managed not to hit her head as she was slightly tilted on the armrest. So she was kind of slouched over and then it came crumbling. Oh my
I think her
God.
daughter is the one that had the dream, Jay. Her daughter is the one that had the premonition and was like, Mom, move. And she like didn't even really hear. She just leans in. She's like, what are you saying? Saves her
Dude,
life, and now death's gonna come for her forever.
run as fast as you can. The craziest thing that ever happened to me in a movie theater was this guy. He was going to get a refill on his popcorn. He gets up and he freaking trips down the steps like a big bowling ball. Man, listen, I'm assuming he's okay, but that was the freaking funniest thing I had ever seen. I was crying laughing. He bounced back up though. You know, like you need those big tubs. These people go back and they finish them off, and then they go and like fill them up again, because normally people at the theater don't expect people to get their basket refilled of popcorn, but he was on his way. Dude, that guy hit them. He missed that first step and just went tumbling. I think that's like the most craziest thing I've ever seen in a theater from what I remember. Boy, I'll never forget that. I laughed so hard. Butt crack was all hanging out. It was, oh my gosh, dude. Whole theater was clapping for him too when he stood up right in the middle of a movie. I don't even remember what movie it was. Just remember somebody falling down the steps.
I bet everybody's going to remember this. Movie theater ceiling collapses during Final Destination Bloodline screening.
Wow.
I haven't been to the movies in years. I went because it was my birthday, and look what happened to me, a theater goer said. Maybe don't go.
Oh, man.
Theater goers were in for an unfortunate surprise during a recent screening of supernatural horror film Final Destination Bloodlines. On May 19th, Fiamma Villaverde, 29, went to see the new movie at Cinema Ocho in La Planta, Argentina, with her 11-year-old daughter and a friend.
11-year-old taking her to see that movie.
That does, like, it's pretty graphic.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would take an 11-year-old to watch that in a movie theater. I might consider, depending on like what it was, if it's graphic violence, I might consider like having them watch it at home or whatever. If you can like, turn it off if it gets too much or it's easy to like whatever. At a theater, I don't know. Also, 11-year-old daughter, she's 29. However, when she sat down to watch, that's probably just fucking normal, to be honest. It's probably like a little older than normal in Argentina. She's probably got like a 14-year-old son that was back home or something. However, when she sat down to watch the sixth flick in the popular Final Destination franchise, which follows a group of people who die in a series of gruesome deaths after narrowly surviving a catastrophic event, a portion of the ceiling in the theater fell on top of her.
Jeez.
I heard a really loud noise. At first, we thought it was part of the movie because we were so involved, but then a huge piece fell on me. It didn't hit my head because I was leaning slightly over the armrest. This is what the theater looked like, I believe. Villaverde asked for a refund for her ticket while waiting for an ambulance. She also said the theater manager asked her, "How do you want to fix this?" And she said she was going to file a complaint.
What? I'm going to write a strongly worded letter about this establishment. Freaking pieces of the ceiling falling down. Jeez,
don't you think
man.
this is just standard operating procedure? Like just normal experiences like this all the time in a place like Argentina?
In Argentina? I've never been. I don't know.
I heard there's little pockets of Argentina, the little cities that are actually very well run and everything's, very squared away. Can't attest to that personally, but that's just what I've heard. But for a lot of other portions of the country, I don't know. Might be like this, just fucking shithole falling apart.
Looks like one of them old $2 movie theaters. You get what you get. We ain't cleaning up nothing. They're just leaving it there. $2. You go in. That's all you get. Hey, how do we make this right with you? Take some snacks and a refund. All right, there you go. Sorry for your inconvenience. You almost died in front of your daughter. No big deal. It's just an average Tuesday here in Argentina. Golly.
Yep.
I wasn't in a theater once when the AC stopped working.
Oh, that sounds
It gets
brutal.
really hot in there, and like you could see like the Karens like getting ready to like explode, right? Like I usually sit in the back, so you're like looking down, like they're gonna start to complain. Watch, this person gets up, this woman gets up, this blonde haired lady gets up, this person, and I'm like, they're all going to complain any moment now. Yep, sure enough, the lights come back on. We're sorry that the AC is broken. We'll offer full refund. We don't know what's wrong with it. We're waiting on a guy, or you can sit and continue to watch the film, or both. So finish the movie and got a ticket.
Hot theaters suck. I will say I vividly remember Ocean's 13. Was it Ocean's 12 or Ocean's 13 when it came out? One of those. I went to go see the movie. I brought this girl with me. And the fucking projector was like out of focus the entire fucking time.
Wow.
And finally, like an hour in, I can't fucking do this anymore. It was like watching a 3D thing without glasses on basically the whole time. It was not 3D. That was not the case. It was just essentially like out of focus. And eventually they had to shut it off and give us all refunds. That pissed me the fuck off.
You would think they'd have somebody walk in and look up and be like, huh.
Well, the dumb fuck who's supposed to be doing
That's
it.
what I'm
Isn't that
saying,
somebody's
like-
job up there?
Who's running the film? Maybe they just push a button and leave. I don't know.
He's falling asleep, maybe. 0 for $2. Best daily duo, Total Munjay Takeover.
Hey,
Vindicta.
thanks, Zero. I don't add too much, but I appreciate it.
Taker for $5. Ryan, just read a theory that Jedi could be the name of Yoda's species, kind of like Sith was originally the name of a species. Dumb or interesting? It's fucking dumb and retarded and not true. But I don't know who came up with it, but no, it's not it. Cole Hauser for 2. Jay, bring Ryan to Toronto.
I don't think he'd want to go to the Transformers convention, but it would be cool if he could.
Keenan for 2. Longest novel or graphic novel you've ever read? The Bible? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm about to say that. The Bible.
Longest novel? I don't freaking know. I imagine that, what is it? I don't have my fucking Song of Ice and Fire books up here. A couple of those are very long. It's also tough because those are in a different format than, say, some of my other ones. I don't know. What was Order of the Phoenix? When I was a kid, the longest one I read was probably Order of the Phoenix, was like 800 something pages long. But it's in a different format. It's gotta be. Fucking George R.R. Martin's. Those are fucking tomes, but I don't know exactly how many pages they were. I don't know. I can't tell you.
I can tell you this. Somebody sent me this in my P.O. box. A Geeks and Gamers butter dish.
Doesn't seem like a normal sized one.
No, it's for like small clumps of butter. Pretty awesome. Thank you so
Somebody
much.
sent me something in my P.O. box.
And then I also got this thing. Not that we're showing it off, but my childhood pain and trauma will now look at me the rest of my days. The death of Optimus Prime. I didn't even know this thing existed. So thank you. I think this was from Jose Taco if he's watching.
Does he have a black suit like Superman? Is that what that is?
Not like when he died, he's the only Transformer that just turned gray. He just like his color left him. He's laying on the table full of color, and then he dies, and then he just turns gray. While all the children in the theater were screaming.
There you go. I got a weird fucking I get a package, no return address. So I'm already thinking, all right,
yeah, those are
anthrax or something. Open it up. There's a little like package in there and then a card. So I open the card first and it has like these flowers on it. And it's like ready for next month ? And I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm thinking to myself, is this some like person who wants to like thinks they're gonna come meet me or something? It was like very strange. I'm like, what is this? I'm like, what is gonna be in this package? I open it up and it is a Pride Month Stormtrooper. Like one of those
oh yeah.
One of those Funko Pops that's all the rainbow Stormtrooper. That was pretty good. I don't know who sent it. There's no fucking name in there, but it
gotta get ready for June. Haven't really seen or heard much though of the rainbow stuff coming this year.
We still got 5 days.
That's true.
Where did I go? Lilo and Stitch was very good, surprisingly, says Corey Wilson.
There you go.
Thank you. Andre CR, can we get 5 big booms for Memorial Day? Oh, yeah. 5 big booms for everybody that died for our country. Boom. I fucking hate those guys so much. I hate those boom guys. Oh, I'm sorry to hear your grandma passed away. Let's give her 5 big booms. Boom. Boom. Rolando. Boom. Spoilers. Nani leaving for college instead of staying with Lilo to stay as a family is a shit ending because we need women in STEM. Screw this movie remake. And Gone 2 isn't there, so nah, bye Disney.
I've seen a lot of Disney stans very upset on Twitter because of that ending. Like they all had pride flags in their bio and they were just ripping this movie apart. And a couple other people in our space too. Like they went and
mostly those people. You're right, Jay. It's mostly those people, and it's because they don't feel like they portrayed the horrors of the colonialist nature of the government oppressing native Hawaiian people as much as they should have. But it does so happen there's other people on our side. Now, I don't fucking know. I didn't watch the original movie, so I have no fucking idea what happens. My understanding is that at the end of this one, because of Child Protective Services and things like that, it was either like they were going to take her away or you find like a home for her. And Lilo apparently goes with the neighbors, like so that Nani's able to go, go to school and still come back. And so I don't fucking know. I didn't watch it. I don't know about the original.
The original, the sister fights for her little sister so they could be together. That was what they had a Hawaiian name, Ohana or something like that.
That means family.
Family, yeah. So, apparently, it doesn't mean that in this film. It means just stay here for a little while I go to college, and I'll come back and maybe find you, unless I have a brand new life and I forget all about you.
Yoro Zuya for 5. Online, I've hardly seen people say they didn't like Mission Impossible aside from YouTubers, so it must be connecting with people. Yeah, I think that most of the people that are screaming and like complaining about Mission Impossible, I said about the last one too, and the last one didn't do very well at the box office. I like the last one more than most people liked it.
I like the last one.
I also like it more than most people like it. So it might be another situation where the box office underperforms. I don't know. Cartoon Post. My favorite Jim Carrey character is Joe Biden.
You mean Fire Marshal Bill?
Let's see. Bo Briscoe for 5. IT2 Corey Ingram. FC1 Susanna Hubert. MA2 Ben Polari. And MA2 Jonathan Duran. That's my list to pour one out for tonight. There you go, Bo. We've all got a list out there. So sorry to hear about that, but yes, pour one out.
Yes.
For your comrades. Sorry to hear about that, man. Rolando, to clarify, a little, Nani gets Lilo back from the government and puts her up for adoption to the neighbors, so she gives lowly Lilo away. Shutch for 5. Women resting their heads, better known as caryatids.
Yeah.
Caryatids. Let's go over my head, I guess. Sola Felix, Incubus song Vitamin and Final Destination 2 sing. Annie plays games. As a former theater manager, I've been in this situation. 30-year-old roof means wet ceiling tiles eventually fall down and make a goopy mess. Jay thinks it's funny. Andre CR, Jay trips moviegoers and beloved mascots. He can't keep getting away with this.
I didn't trip the guy falling down a step. All I heard was I'm sitting there. Listen, I'm a big guy. I like sitting in the back. I don't want anyone behind me kicking my seat, right? And then if I can't get the back, I'm usually back near the first person near like the exit. If something's going down, I'm out. Like, I'm not sticking around. There's a fight or something. If chicken jockey's going, I'm out. I'm not fooling with that stuff. So I want to be the first one. I don't want to have to wade through, if I got to pee, I don't have to wade through people. Like, I hate that. So I'm usually on so this guy, like, I heard the rustling behind me. He walked past me. I had a couple friends, and he just, sometimes the steps are like long, then doom, 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 then long. And man, he hit that first one and completely missed. And he just went a tumbling. It wasn't just like a one misstep and you kind of catch yourself. That would have been funny too. This was like he just bumbled and stumbled, and like whatever was left in his popcorn just went, dude. It was pretty fun, but I didn't trip him. I want to clear that up.
You're very defensive. Sandstorm became a channel member. Thank you. Probably just re-upped your membership, Sandstorm. Baby Maker. Looking good today, Ryan. Thank you for giving me looks worth striving towards. Hi, Drunk 3PO.
Hey.
Thanks, Baby Maker. Shadow Saiyan for 5. I heard they even cut the scene of Stitch doing Elvis at the beach.
I don't know.
I don't fucking know.
I thought you were gonna say I don't care.
I don't fucking know. I've never watched this godforsaken movie. I thought it looked dumb and gay when it came out. And I never watched it. In 2002. You know what I watched in 2002? Instead of that, I watched fucking Minority Report, which was awesome.
What else came out in 2002?
So when Lilo
and
Stitch came out, the very same weekend it was going up against Minority Report from Tom Cruise. So this is the second time that Tom Cruise has been forced to battle fucking Stitch.
Bro, look at this lineup, man. Do I have time to share it real quick? Anyway, here we go. Spider-Man, Star Wars Episode 2, Harry Potter, Signs, Lord of the Rings, Austin Powers.
You skipped my big fat Greek wedding.
Yeah, I was coming back to it. Men in Black 2, Ice Age, A Beautiful Mind. Man, Die Another Day. There's Lilo and Stitch right there. There's Minority Report, number 17. Man, that's a freaking, look at that top 10, man. That's crazy.
The Santa Claus 2, the Mrs. Claus.
Yeah, that beat Minority Report. The Ring, Sum of All Fears, The Bourne Identity.
I ain't gonna lie, The Ring creeped me out.
Freaking like 8 Mile, Black Hawk Down. Shout out Matthew Marsden.
Scorpion King. Red Dragon. I like Red Dragon.
I love Red Dragon, and I love Blade 2. The fact that it's number 30 is like, that's crazy. And The Rookie.
Again, these are just, to be clear, these are just domestic numbers. These are not the worldwide numbers for some of these, right?
I'm just saying, like, look at those movies. That top 10 is that's quite a lineup that's a good box office year.
Spider-Man. Back in the day, not so much anymore.
No.
Greedy graffiti for $1. If you sign up for Walmart Plus, one of the perks is free Paramount Plus. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I don't need Walmart Plus though. Snacks for $1. Talking about Final Destination. These 4D movies are getting nuts.
Watch Final Destination in the D box. Is that what it's called?
I don't know.
Where it's like, you see people. I'd get sick.
I couldn't watch a movie like that. Ronin for $1. Hail Ryan and Jay Zilla. Head still hurt from stupid arguments, Ryan? My head does hurt today. Hurt yesterday too.
Oh, you had arguments.
Well, I don't fucking know, actually. Ink's Kitten for $2. Ryan, you're not a fan of creepy movies? I like some of them. Like The Ring just fucking scared me. Like it, not just in the theater. I mean that
those weird noises, right? Wasn't that The Ring? It's like some weird freaking Chinese movie.
I don't know if that was The Ring.
Maybe it was something else. It was something else. Oh,
so
The Grudge.
That's right.
It was The Grudge. Sorry. That was The Grudge.
The Ring is the one where if you watch that videotape after 7 days, you die.
Yeah.
And it's those people that are found scared to death.
Yeah.
And like the fucking girl climbing out of the TV and shit. I don't know what it was because it's definitely not like the scariest movie out there. There was something about it that just creeped me the fuck out to the point where, like, when I would go to bed, I wouldn't want like my arm hanging off the edge of the bed type. Do you know that, like, that just type of thing that creates that anxiety within you for a few days? That's what I had. I had bad dreams about that movie. I don't know why.
It's like watching Jaws and never wanting to go in the water again. Just don't want to take a quick swim and all of a sudden your leg is missing.
Yeah. But I can handle most movies. There's some stuff that I don't like. I don't know why. That is just, that one stuck with me when I watched it for some reason more than anything else. Can't tell you why.
Speaking of Jaws, Universal Studios, they have set up this entire Jaws. We have a video on Park Hoppin' pavilion area, and they just opened up the Jaws food market where you can get like some of Quint's favorite fried shrimp and chicken in a bucket. So I think I'm heading out there tomorrow to do another video on all the Jaws 50th anniversary. I do hope they re-release that in the theater. I've never seen that in the movie theater before, but at least maybe for a weekend. I think that'd be kind of cool. So
yeah, I've never seen it in the theater either. It came out in fucking the 70s, right?
I have no idea. 50 years ago. Yeah. So, but they have like some of the, like, the clothes that they wore in the film on display. They got the beach sign that was in the movie that's there. At least that's what it says. And of course, the shark has been hung up there. Not the original shark, but the Universal shark is there. And they brought out a lot of old stuff from the ride. If people remember the Jaws ride, freaking awesome ride. So kind of cool. I like it.
I'm getting fucking like chills right now thinking about The Ring and the fucking girl in the well and her crawling out of the TV and shit.
Oof.
Fuck. I don't know what it was about that movie that like stuck with me so much. Yeah. I did not like that one.
I think it was The Grudge for me. That noise from The Grudge, that was like freaking weird. And like they would look under the covers and that Chinese girl was all gray. I was like, oh, dude, what the heck?
Did you see Smile?
I did not. That was creepy too.
Yeah, Smile's like it's good. It's creepy, but it's good. The ending's fucking wild.
Smile had some of the best marketing ever, though. They would pay people to go to like basketball games and just stand there like the whole time and smile. Like that's all they did. They probably didn't stay there the whole time, but enough like when the cameras were on and they just stood there. They hired people, they hired actors to go to different places all around just to stand there with that crazy smile. I was like, that's
stand behind home plate at a baseball game.
Yeah, exactly. That was top tier marketing in my opinion.
All right, where the hell was I? Bo Briscoe. Jaws was re-released for its 25th anniversary, and I went to see it. 25 years ago. Mikey. Here we go. Universal announced a few months ago they'll re-release Jaws in theaters for its 50th anniversary this summer. I think it's a worldwide release.
Really? Honestly, I haven't seen anything about that. Just seen rumors and speculation. So I think that would be kind of neat. I definitely would go see it.
Commodore fan for 5. Jaws was creepy because it played into something that could actually happen with real shark attacks on humans, but amped it up to 11.
Yeah. Actually, wasn't a lady just attacked by a great white in New York?
What? What you saying?
Yeah, hold on. Let me make sure that's not old. It probably is.
Boba Fett. Apparently ghosts are just our reptile brain remembering big cats hunting us in the dark when we were primitive. That's nuts. If that's true.
Oh, it's old. Sorry.
I don't know. I've never seen a shark in real life. But I don't know. I guess I also haven't spent too much time on the beaches and around oceans. Some, obviously. I lived in San Diego for a while. I lived in Virginia, right over by Virginia Beach for a while. But I don't know. I ain't never seen a fucking shark out there. There were probably some in California a couple times when I've been to LA and shit like that. There were probably some around, but I don't know.
You see a lot on the West Coast side of Florida, over in the Gulf of America.
If I can't see it, it can't hurt me, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's how it works. But I have seen, I will say, while I was in California when I was younger visiting, we had just gone to the beach, and the next day we were watching like the local news, and they showed like an overhead shot of a beach that was a little bit north of where we were in LA, but still in the area of like a couple people surfing and stuff from the top view down, and below it you could see shadows of sharks underneath them, like from the news footage. And I was like, my fucking God. That's a little
this article came out 3 days ago. Scientists have found a record-sized great white shark swimming off the coast of Florida. There you go.
Well, he's just swimming. He's not hurting anybody.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't say it. I just said, yeah, just hanging out.
He's fine. You're just chilling.
God, that's I would freaking.
How big?
Oh, I turned off the article. It said record.
What's the biggest great white on record then?
What's how do they even measure that thing?
Fucking tape measure?
Said they think he estimated at 1,600 pounds and over 14 feet long.
There's no way that's the biggest.
Maybe biggest off that coast.
Okay.
Yeah, Jaws was 25 feet, right? It's a 20-footer. No, 25.
Let's see. How big can a great white shark get? Full-grown adults are on average 15 feet.
Oh, well, there you go.
But people claim to have seen ones up to 30.
Sweet Jesus.
But they have measured some over 20 feet.
I like this. Like they put a scanner on them and they're just like, yeah, great white sharks are just swimming around your whole coastline here. Just hanging out.
Bro, great whites aren't going to they ain't going to bother you. Bull sharks and shit like that, they might take a chomp. Bull sharks are nasty. But let's fucking stop talking about sharks.
Yeah. I started with the ring.
I mean, Jay will get in a pool as long as there's no shark in there.
That's true.
How do you typically like to enter a pool, Jay? Are you one of the people that eases in?
Nah. Cannonball straight in.
Cannonball? No belly flops?
Maybe. It depends. Yeah, I just jump right in. I'm not one of those, it's cold in my stomach. Yeah, I don't do that. Just jump in, get over with.
A big old. Well, speaking of belly flops, I suppose we can talk about Marvel and Thunderbolts. That's the only reason I asked you that question about the pool was so I could transition.
That's good.
That's the only reason. Isn't it funny, Jay, that every time a new Marvel movie comes around, we go through the same cycle over and over and over again? Wow, social media reactions are great for this movie. It's the best Marvel movie since the last Marvel movie. And then opening weekend comes out and it's incredibly disappointing. Yet the media still tries to portray it as a great opening weekend. And then several weeks later, we start getting different articles that say, wow, whatever happened to this? Well, this doesn't look very good. This is an unfortunate record for whatever the newest Marvel project is. Well, we have now hit that spot in the news cycle. Marvel's Thunderbolts heading for unwanted box office record despite rave reviews. Well, why is that? It's because after multiple weekends of release and now some big competition releasing, Thunderbolts is still tracking behind Captain America Brave New World, and it looks like it's going to remain there. Thunderbolts crosses the 350 million mark at the global box office, but has legs terminated by competition and won't reach $400 million after grossing just 5.6 on the fourth weekend overseas versus Captain America 4's 9.2 million on its fourth weekend. With an $180 million production price tag, not including the $100 million in marketing, the new Avengers is now eyeing a $380 to $390 million run. And that's pretty consistent with other things. Despite Thunderbolts reviews on fire, the fourth weekend still below Captain America 4, and the finale seems to be less than $385 million. Why is this so bad, Jay? Well, one, because it loses money. But say this thing ends at 385 million. You want to know how bad that would be? Let's put it in perspective, shall we? A list of all the MCU movies that have come out. Ones that made over $1 billion, $2 billion, all that stuff. Let's go all the way down here. Let's look at the lowest grossing ones of all time. The Marvels, 200 million. Biggest flop in history. We understand that, blah, blah, blah. Incredible Hulk, released in 2008, $265 million. If you factored in inflation, that would be $400 million today. Thunderbolts there, still going along. Captain America First Avenger, released in 2011, $370 million. That would be upwards of $500 million if you adjust that in for inflation. Black Widow, 380. Will inflation factor in too much from something 4 years ago? A little bit. I'm sure it would bump it up around there to 400. But more importantly, Black Widow was also released on Disney Plus on the same fucking day. And then you go up to Eternals at 400 million. So if this thing makes $385 million, it will be the lowest grossing Marvel movie at the box office, with the exception of Marvel's all time. Wow. The second lowest grossing of all time in history. This is the movie that people were pretending was going to be this massive success and prove the haters wrong and all this stuff. And like clockwork, a couple weeks down the line, here's the reality. What an embarrassment.
Yeah. Nothing I don't understand why these people that keep pumping out these movies still get work, knowing that the bar graph is heading in the wrong direction and people just have been burned out from horrible superhero movies. They just don't care. Plus, I'm sure though, Ryan, what we're going to see is once it hits streaming, the numbers will change and say, hey, look, we made more money when it came on to streaming, or maybe it's the number one streamed movie on Disney Plus. They'll spin it somehow to make it look like it's been successful, that people are enjoying it, that people want to go see it. So, and that Fantastic Four, it's like you're not really building up hype, man. If the last couple of movies that came out just doing terrible, then here we go right into Fantastic Four. I don't know, man. I'm with you. I got my money on the dinosaurs for July. I think that's gonna reign. They're gonna rule the box office yet again.
It's just wild because we sit here and we talk about what the media is going to do, what they're going to say, how they're going to be wrong, and how it's going to change. And now here we are, literally like clockwork. And now we're starting to see the articles about the unfortunate reality of the Thunderbolts. And look, I think that Thunderbolts is a better movie than Captain America Brave New World. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's a good movie. I don't think people particularly care about the vast majority of the main cast and crew of this movie. They pulled the name change to try to maybe as a marketing ploy to get people excited, stuff like that. None of it's worked. It's going to go on record as the second lowest grossing movie in the history of the MCU when adjusted for inflation. And even when you don't, still one of the worst they've ever had. And it will lose money.
How are they going to do this like moving forward? Is it going to be like the new Avengers versus the Avengers that Captain America makes? Or is he just going to absorb them all into his crew and then that's who the Avengers are going to be? How are they going to play this out? How's this going to work?
They're going to fight about it.
And then they're going to fight, and then people are going to be like, wait, they're the Avengers? I didn't know. Yeah, because we didn't go watch the film. We don't care. That's how it is.
Sam Wilson's going to sue them.
That's right. And he's going to be in court with Bucky, the congressman.
Sam Wilson didn't have good enough credit to get a fucking loan, but he's going to hire a superstar lawyer. I don't know. Maybe that's what we'll see. But get ready for Fantastic Four.
Good job.
Over on the Rumble side, Skeels the Air for 5. In FCA school in 2003, the Barracks put The Ring on TV. After the movie ended, a payphone rang and everyone in the room screamed and ran out.
Bet.
Funniest thing I've ever seen.
I bet.
It's creepy, man. KW for 5. Do you think a Mission Impossible game will ever be made? Or does something exist already I'm not aware of? I don't know if I would want a Mission Impossible game. Like, look, back in the day, when every fucking movie that came out, every TV show that came out seemed to have a video game adaptation, a really bad one, a really cheap one, I'm sure, go for it. Maybe there is. Maybe there's one out there. But I don't know if there was anyone that was like big or successful. Not sure. Do a Mission Impossible 2 video game. Let me ride some motorcycles and shit.
I'm looking that up now. Was there a game?
Snacks for $1. Look, if someone came to my house wearing nothing but a Speedo, I'd attack them too. That's a fair point. That's a fair point. Where was I? Carl Anderson. Hello, Ryan and Jay. I got some great news to celebrate. I got a new job with Wells Fargo Customer Service Call Center. Thanks for keeping my spirits up while I was unemployed for a couple weeks. Hey, congrats, Carl. That's awesome.
Yeah, congrats, man.
Good luck at Wells Fargo, my man. Good luck. Yeah, that's always rough when you're looking for another job, but I'm glad you found one quick. Chris Coran for 2. Let's go shark fishing in the Gulf. I will pay.
And yes, there has been several Mission Impossible games.
When were they released?
Oh, freaking heck. Kotaku. They just spammed me with a bunch of ads. They look pretty old. They don't have there's Super Nintendo, Mission Impossible 1991.
Oh, that's based on the TV show then.
Yeah,
huh?
Then there's Mission Impossible Nintendo 1998. So there's that one. Mission Impossible 99. Mission Impossible Operation Suma on the Game Boy Advance. Mission Impossible on the PlayStation 2. Mission Impossible 3 came out in 2006. And Mission Impossible the game 2011.
2011. So that's around time Ghost Protocol came out.
Yeah.
The other one, Mission Impossible 3 is around the time that the third movie came out.
They also have Mission Impossible Rogue Nation 2015.
So they did do some of those.
Yeah.
I'm
just watching some of the gameplay.
Ryan became Harrison Ford on Star Wars when Lilo and Stitch came up. I don't care. Jay, I didn't trip poo. Tommy Lee Jones. I don't care.
I don't care.
I didn't kill my wife.
Yeah. I don't care.
Sulla Felix. Look up Deep Blue Great White Shark was on camera. Johnny Ultra X. Hail J's. Cereal is soup. You actually said
soap.
Yeah, you said soap, but is cereal a soup? Please ask Ryan.
Is cereal a soup? Did I miss something?
Just an argument.
Oh.
Storm Shadow for 2 hours in a shark cage or all weekend at FurryCon. 2 hours in a shark cage.
Easy. That's an easy one.
MCU fan for $5. Thanks, MCU fan. Just a straight up donation from MCU fan. Look at that. Didn't say anything. Sandstorm, happy Memorial Day to the fellowship. Thank you. Sergio Garcia, I have me the ring girl. She will kick your ass. And then he says, the girl is real. She will puck you up, bro. As long as she doesn't kill me. Logan Johnson, I agree, Jay. JWR is going to dominate the summer, and Floptastic 4 is going to suck. I don't know what else is coming this year, to be honest. Superman.
That ought to tell you.
The fact that you can't remember that Superman's coming out that is a little rough. That is a little rough, but unexpected, but very expected. All right, Jay, we're done. That's it. Finite. Is Jeremy going live? He told me at one point in time that he was going to do a Cobra cast relatively quickly after this. So I might send you guys there and raid him.
I don't know.
Let's see. Customization. Well, what do you got going on today?
So at 6, we have the Park Hoppin' panel live stream at 3 o'clock. We'll talk about Epic Universe opening. And then at 6 p.m. on the Drunk 3PO channel, the Monday Hangover movie review is The Patriot. Mel Gibson, The Patriot. So that'll be a lot of fun. Look forward to
Patriot. That will be cool.
Yeah.
That's a great freaking movie, dude. The hatchet scene. It's great.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Great villain, too.
Yes.
A fantastic villain. Michael King, friends and I went to Arachnophobia the second night, each with a jar of daddy long legs we knew when to toss the spiders. That is fucking fucked up.
Yeah.
Michael King.
Massive.
That's fucked up. That's crazy. But all right, that's it for us. I am gonna send. Jeremy's not gonna go live for a little while, but I will send you guys there if you don't know where his channel is. Jeremy's going live probably in about an hour, so make sure you hit the reminder to remind you about that stream when it goes. And we will talk to you tomorrow, everybody. Bye.
Bye, everyone.